everyone, my name is Shereen, a news reporter. Today, I would like to conduct an interview to investigate the issues of food irradiation, as many people have expressed a number of concerns in relation to food irradiation, such as radioactivities, lack of choice, effects on food hygiene, natural warning signs eliminated, and not benefiting the consumer's need. Therefore, I have invited Arrissa, the nuclear scientist, Asmirah, the CEO of the company, and Nurul, Najwa, the economic analyst, to discuss about the issues of food irradiation together. So let us invite Anis first, the nuclear scientist, to explain about the technical part of food irradiation.
Thank you, Ms. Shereen. Well, I think it is important for everyone to know what food irradiation is about, what are the processes involved, and what purpose that it serves to us. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Arisya binti Abdul Malek, and my matrix number is A168346. So, food irradiation is a technique used in food processing that involves ionizing radiation to kill pathogens on the food, and this can be used to extend its shelf life. Well, the first patent that were issued on food irradiation were by the US and the British in 1947. Meanwhile, Malaysia itself has taken the initiative to formulate the standard on guidelines of food irradiation in 1992. So, what are the processes involved in food irradiation? Well, there are three sources of ionizing radiation that were approved by the Food, Drug and Administration, or the FDA, which is gamma rays, X-rays, and electron beams. So these are high energy radiation that when it was irradiated on food, it can break the DNA molecules of the microorganisms and cause them to be unable to reproduce or cause them death. So this does not actually make the food become radioactive, since the radiation just passed through the food. Well, as reported by the US Department of Agriculture, the nutrients lost by food irradiation is less than and almost equal to the nutrients lost by cooking and freezing. So why do we need to irradiate food? Well, first of all, food irradiation were invented to as a way to prevent foodborne diseases like Salmonella and E. coli. And besides, since it can kill microorganisms, it can act as a preservation method, where we call this as cold pasteurization. Why did we call them cold pasteurization? Is because it does not involve any heat like the conventional method of pasteurization did. So lastly, food irradiation can also delay sprouting and ripening of food like on potatoes, durian, bananas, and even pineapple. And this is seen as a benefit for food importation and exportation business. So I think in conclusion, we should always be more interested to know more about irradiation and its application, as it does bring a lot of benefits in our daily life. So thank you again, Ms. Reen, for the great question.
Thank you, Anis, for explaining the details of food irradiation. It sounds so interesting. Next, let us invite Arrissa, the CEO of company, to explain about how food irradiation brings effects to local market.
Thank you, Ms. Shereen. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. I am very honored to be invited to this talk regarding food irradiation. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Asmirah, the CEO of Food dan Berhad, a food wholesaler company established here in Malaysia. Now, back to our topic. How does it affect our local market? Does it bring benefits to us, or is it the other way around? First, the use of food irradiation will lead to a successful marketing for our local companies. Why? Because the usage of food irradiation technology is in trend today, especially for fresh fruits and vegetables. Furthermore, there is also an increasing consumption of raw food among the consumers. For everyone's information, one of the major contributions to global market growth is the increasing concerns towards food safety. We could watch in the news that there have been numerous diseases caused by the microorganisms in the raw food that we normally consume. For example, the raw fish in our sushi. But these diseases can be prevented using food irradiation, as told by Miss Anis just now. So taking all this into account, say we are comparing a manufacturer that uses the irradiation technology versus the manufacturer who skip the process. As a consumer who is aware of its benefits, which would you choose? I believe everyone will choose the first options, hence what is indeed a successful marketing. Having the title of a company or manufacturer who uses food irradiation will eventually attract more consumers to opt for your products. Next, which I assume is every business owner's favorite subject, that is, we can actually achieve economies of scale by using food irradiation. For those who do not know what economies of scale is, it is a state where companies reap cost advantages when our production becomes efficient. As an owner myself, I really hate having to throw away rotten fruits from my inventory. And to add up, I think we all know fruits do not take a long time before they go bad. So by using food irradiation, we can decrease the amount of waste, and that means extra sales for us. Although to implement this technology into our business is undoubtedly a bit costly, but let's look on the positive side. I would say the additional cost does make sense. Comparing the two between the cost from the technology and from the food waste we must get rid of, in a long-term period, we can see how this food irradiation technology is able to lower our costs. Also, doesn't that sound like we are killing two birds with one stone? Not only did we make our production become more efficient, but we can also offer quality and safe products to our consumers. And last but not least, the usage of food irradiation in our local market will help to encourage public acceptance, not only towards the food irradiation technology, but also towards the companies themselves. You cannot deny there are still people who are not exposed to the benefits of food irradiation. Although we cannot count the number of these people, even if there is only a small amount of them, this minority group may end up restraining the market growth, since consumers tend to make their decision, especially about food, based on their feelings rather than the facts. So, with more local companies, if not all, using the food irradiation technology, it will eventually build up their trust towards the process, since it has become a standard practice in food processing. Also, the technology too can be part of our corporate social responsibility, where we help with raising awareness on food safety to the consumers by using food irradiation technology, which helps with getting rid of the bad bacteria and microorganisms from the raw unprocessed food. So those are three major effects on our local market that I would like to share and focus on. To conclude, I believe this food irradiation technology will contribute a lot to our market growth, besides its benefits towards the production, while ensuring the safety of the food. I hope they are somehow useful to everyone, either consumers, existing business, or maybe inspiring businessmen or women. Thank you.
Thank you, Arrissa, for explaining so much about the food irradiation marketing. That's awesome. Lastly, let us invite Najwa, the economic analyst, for sharing her opinion regarding the impact to Malaysia's export activities.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to give this talk. I will discuss about the economic impacts of food irradiation to our country. As we all know, Malaysia has a climate that can produce a number of tropical fruits that include durians, mangoes, jackfruits, and many more. This can provide opportunity for Malaysia to expand its fruits market internationally. Malaysia already has a high demand for tropical fruits thanks to our climate and soil, which is suitable to produce better tasting fruits than other Asian countries. From 2015 to 2018, the average value of Malaysia's tropical fruits exports increased by 12.29% per year. In 2018 only, the exports of tropical fruits reached 1.124 billion ringgit. This proves that our local fruits have potential to compete in the international market. However, fruits usually go bad easily. This is where the irradiation technology will play its part. If the exported fruits can be kept longer, it will undoubtedly give Malaysia a golden opportunity to increase its productivity, which will lead to the acceleration of the fresh produce industry's development. Next, I will talk about how the rise of exports can influence the economy. The imports and exports of a country will affect the country's gross domestic product, or in short, GDP. GDP is a broad measurement of a nation's overall economic activity. When exports exceed imports, the net exports figure is positive. This indicates that a country has a trade surplus, which helps Malaysia to achieve economic growth. When there are more exports, it means that there is a high level of output from a country's factories and industrial facilities, as well as a greater number of people that are being employed in order to keep these factories in operation. When a company is exporting a high level of goods, this also equates to a flow of funds into the country, which stimulates consumer spending and contributes to economic recovery. Last but not least, the increase of the country's exports will also help increase the value of the Malaysian ringgit. Exports increasing demonstrates that demands of Malaysian goods are also increasing. This presents that the Malaysian ringgit has more demands. When demand surpass supplies, the Malaysian ringgit value appreciates, which means that our currency has a higher value. And when all of these things are considered, I can conclude by saying that food irradiation will positively influence the country's economy. And that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Najwa, for sharing her opinions. That's cool. In conclusion, food irradiation is an effective way to preserve the overall values of food without causing any known health concerns, as the food does not become radioactive. Further research can be done to investigate on how the process of irradiation can be used with other things for benefit results. Last but not least, thank you for sharing so much about the issues of food irradiation. That's really knowledgeable. I'm hoping this interview benefits the public and reduce everyone's worries regarding the issues of food irradiation. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.